VCU men's basketball is moving forward in the A10 Conference Championship. We have a reporter in New York with the details. For the women, University of Richmond Spiders have won the conference, but the VCU Lady Rams were not as successful. Drivers, you'll want to know, the first speed cameras in Richmond are turning on this weekend, and more are coming to school zones around the city. Ramadan starts now. The VCU students are honoring the holy month, but it's more somber this year with the war in Gaza on their minds. VCU InSight starts now. Hello and welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Chelsea Brooks-Giles. The VCU men's basketball team is moving forward in the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. Last night, they beat Fordham University 69-62. VCU Capitol News Service digital reporter Ty Wilson is in New York covering the conference. Here's a look before the game.
I am Capitol News Service reporter Ty Wilson here in the Brooklyn Barclays Center, where VCU is playing in the second round of the A10 men's basketball tournament. The Rams are the 5th seed in this matchup, while Fordham is the 12th seed. Fordham is located in the Bronx, so the Barclays will be filled with Fordham supporting their Rams. This 2 p.m. matchup will decide who will go on to face off against the University of Massachusetts in the 3rd round of the A10 playoffs.
Here's a look at the game. VCU started off leading Fordham 31-26, but started racking up fouls. Fordham was up by 1 point going into halftime, 38-37. The black and gold and the maroon and white kept trading the lead for the first 14 minutes of the second half. Both teams scored with only free throws down the final stretch, due to the physical nature of the game and the energy that both fan bases brought to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. In the end, it was close, but VCU comes out with the win, 69-62. The VCU Rams face the University of Massachusetts Minutemen this afternoon. In women's basketball, the Richmond Spiders are now the A10 Conference champions. However, the Lady Rams didn't make it past the first round of the tournament. Here's VCU InSight reporter Nia McMillan at the Henrico Sports and Events Center with what's next.
The Richmond Spiders are dribbling their way into the NCAA tournament after defeating Rhode Island last weekend 65-51. But the VCU women's basketball team still put up a fight this season. The Rams lost in the first round of the A10 tournament in a close game against St. Louis with a final game score of 65-63. They went into the tournament ranked number 2, setting a new record of most regular season wins, and the head coach became the most winningest coach in program history. The Lady Rams also recorded a record-high crowd turnout with 6,054 attendees at their final game, which is more than 5 times the amount since before the pandemic. Although the Richmond Spiders are heading into March Madness, the spirits are still high for VCU players. According to the NCAA, selections for the Women's March Madness tournament start this Sunday. Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU News, I'm Nia McMillan.
If you love pickleball, then you will soon have a new location to play the sport this summer. Mark Jones reports on the new addition coming to the Canal Walk.
Pickleball, a sport invented in 1965, has become one of the fastest growing activities around the world, and the expansion is continuing right here in the Richmond area. According to a local development company, Tallheimer Realty Partners, the plan is to turn the Hagsall plant along Canal Walk into an indoor racket venue. It will be called Paddle Plant and will feature pickleball and paddleball courts, along with food trucks and local breweries. One resident who lives across from the Canal Walk is excited about the new venue opening soon.
You know, I'm excited to see what it will bring to the Richmond area, specifically the Canal Walk. This is all I've really known the Canal Walk to be. So imagining it to be something different, I think would be fun.
Pickleball is picking up in popularity across the country. Performance pickleball in Henrico is one of the more recent indoor courts that have opened up in the area. I spoke with Christina Shiflett on why the expansion of this sport is important for the community.
So especially at the Canal Walk and all downtown, it is, 20 to 40-year-old people. So it will bring the age down a bit, and people don't have the perception of pickleball is for old people anymore, especially when it's in that Richmond area. I mean, you can get all different ages.
It is anticipated that there will be a membership program for players who are more competitive with pickleball.
Reporting from the Canal Walk in Richmond, Virginia for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Mark Jones.
2 new speeding cameras are turning on this Saturday. The purpose? To automatically find drivers who are going too fast near school zones. VCU InSight reporter Matt Bowman has more on how you can expect more cameras around the city in the near future.
To my right is one of the new speeding cameras set up here at the Patrick Henry School of Science and Arts. As you can see by the busyness of the street corner, these cameras are becoming more and more of a necessity for schools close to busy roads. The locations of the safety cameras are based on the school's proximity to the City High Injury Street Network. Installing speed cameras is part of the city's Vision Zero action plan. The key goal is to improve the safety of people who walk, roll, or bike anywhere near a school. 26 cameras are set to be turned on throughout the city based on the number of traffic-related crashes. Another camera is also set up at Linwood Holton Elementary School on the north side. Drivers can see warning signs along the street to alert them, and the cameras will automatically send a fine for any vehicle going over 11 miles per hour over the speed limit. The fine is a mandatory $50. After that, if the driver is fined again, the amount could go up to $100. Reporting on Seams Avenue for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Matt Bowman.
Several bills that will enforce harsher penalties for selling vape products illegally are headed to the governor's desk. The selling of nicotine vapor products to people under the age of 21 is illegal in the state of Virginia. 2 bills would invoke a fine of up to $10,000 and revoke the distributor's license. Another set of bills would fine companies for marketing or distributing nicotine vape products not approved by the FDA in the U.S. This week marks the beginning of Ramadan for those who celebrate. The war in Gaza makes this celebratory month more somber this year. VCU InSight reporter Carly Woodcock has more on how Muslim groups at VCU are honoring the holy month.
I'm at Iftar, hosted by the MSA chapter here at VCU, and these students behind me have been fasting all day, and they're choosing to break their fast with these items.
Ramadan is a month in which Muslims around the world fast from food and drink from dawn to sunset, engage in prayer, and perform acts of charity. The VCU chapter of Muslim Students Association is hosting daily events during this time. But with the war still in Gaza, celebrating Ramadan means some students are unsure of how to celebrate this year.
It's a time where we should be appreciative of everything that we have, and it's really sad that we're having this amazing meal right now every single night, every day of the week, and the people in Gaza, they barely have anything to eat for sahur or anything to eat for iftar. So it is, and honestly, it's really sad.
Events throughout the month include group dinners from various restaurants in the late evening after their fast ends. VCU encourages staff and faculty to accommodate Muslim students during this time so that students can still be spiritually connected to the holy month's practices.
VCU Dining is also providing students with bagged meals in the University Student Commons, allowing them to pick up dinner and have it ready following sunset. For VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Carly Woodcock.
Virginia is seeing a significant prison population decrease as prison inmate rates across the United States are increasing overall. According to data from the Department of Justice, Virginia's prison population shrunk by 10.5%. That is the greatest decline of any state during a period when the U.S. is seeing an increase for the first time in over 10 years. Even though this decrease is notable, Axios reports that Richmond still has the highest rate in the state when it comes to sentencing individuals to prison. The Bureau of Justice Statistics is expected to release new data regarding prison populations this summer. The Virginia General Assembly is done for the year, wrapping up its 60-day session on Saturday. The newsroom at VCU Capitol correspondent Vali Jamal is in the studio with a look at the budget and which bills made it to the governor's desk. Vali?
Thanks, Chelsea. Lawmakers spent the day addressing conference committee reports, wrapping up any unfinished legislation, and passing a budget. Both parties shared their thoughts at the end of an eventful session. Republicans criticized Democratic policies on gun control, crime, and taxation. Democrats expressed support for much of the recent legislation, while criticizing Governor Youngkin for already vetoing some key measures. The budget includes increased spending through a number of key initiatives. This includes a 3% raise for teachers, $2.5 billion for K-12 education, $25 million for the creation of a child care center for state employees, over $149 million for the Metro in Northern Virginia, $150 million for Medicaid coverage, among others. Budget initiatives will be paid in part through a new tax on digital purchases. Democrats rejected the governor's proposed tax cuts. Democrats fast-tracked dozens of bills last week, sending them to the governor's desk. Governor Youngkin took action on over 80 bills, including codifying same-sex marriage protections into law and banning legacy admissions for Virginia colleges. He also vetoed bills that would have repealed the ban on surrogacy brokers, prevented schools from instituting book bans, and detailed how to remove guns from people convicted of domestic abuse. Youngkin also vetoed a bill allowing Virginia to rejoin the voter roll maintenance program known as ERIC. Youngkin also sent a number of bills back with amendments. Notably, he added a religious exemption to a bill expanding contraceptive access. Governor Youngkin has until April 8th to take action on hundreds of other bills. He has the option to sign bills into law, veto them, or take no action, which would lead to the bills becoming law anyway. The General Assembly will reconvene to address Youngkin's changes on April 17th. Reporting for VCU Capitol News Service and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Vali Jamal.
After 18 long months of reconstruction and a major upgrade, the Midlothian Library shares its many new features with the public. InSight reporter Carly Woodcock has more on what this space means for Chesterfield County.
Midlothian resident Katie McGrath says the library is an essential part of the community for families.
It gives people a place to go that they don't have to pay, which is huge. So a lot of low-income families can find a place to go, and a lot more exposure to reading, which I think is huge with kids right now. A screen-free way to get out.
Through an $18 million project, the Midlothian branch is the first Chesterfield County library to undergo major upgrades in over a decade. With new features such as outdoor musical sculptures, a reading garden, and a large community room. Upgrades include access to technology that many people may not have at school or home.
Right now I'm in the digital media lab, which offers things like a green screen and a 3D printer to the public free of charge. The media lab is just one more way that the library is working to better serve the 21st century learner.
The library reopened its doors at the end of January with 600 visitors on opening day. Midlothian Library branch manager Jess Harshberger says that there has been a steady stream of visitors.
Well, for me, the library, the public library specifically, is one of the few places where all is welcome, and that's really important to me. And so having that community support and that outpouring really does reinforce what I do.
Harshberger says it has been fulfilling for her to see the public give such positive feedback.
They love coming to the library.
And for families like the McGraths, trips to the Midlothian branch will continue to be a regular outing. For VCU News and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Carly Woodcock.
St. Patrick's Day is this weekend, and Richmonders are getting lucky with the return of 2 outdoor festivals this year. Shamrock the Block and the Irish Festival return this weekend. Shamrock the Block is a free event going down in Scott's Addition on Saturday and will feature local rock bands like JBL. The Irish Festival is hosted by St. Patrick's Church in Church Hill on Saturday and Sunday. Attendees can expect a parade in 2 stages featuring music by local folk artists. A $5 donation is encouraged. The thousands of attendees to these festivals can expect plenty of food and drink, vendors, and live music. Beware road closures in the Scott's Addition and Church Hill areas. Richmond is catching the end of a warm front this weekend. On Friday, the high will be in the upper 70s during the day and high 50s at night. Saturday, highs during the day are in the 60s and the temperature will dip back down next week. A VCU alum and former InSight reporter is being recognized for his investigative reporting. Tyler Lane is now reporting for WTVR CBS 6 in Richmond. The Virginia Coalition for Open Government is giving Lane their Lawrence E. Richardson Citizen Award for Open Government. Lane has used FOIA, which is the public's right to request records from a federal agency, in a number of his high-profile stories, demanding transparency from the city. Lane was a reporter for VCU InSight in 2018. VCU InSight will be back here on YouTube in 2 weeks, April 11th. Our reporters are working on several in-depth stories that we will feature after that date. For VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Chelsea Brooks Giles.